Are college showcases worth it? Should we even go? What do we do when we get there? How do we get recruited if we go to a college showcase? Are they worth it? So first of all, if you're part of a college soccer team, you should just be going to this. So this shouldn't be causing you like any extra stress. This should just be an event you're going to in addition to your team already has you going to. So this shouldn't be an issue. Now, the question of whether or not they're worth it, I think stems from the idea of a college ID camps. Like, are college ID camps worth it or not worth it? And the college showcases are definitely worth it. That's the best way to get recruited. In a perfect world, you would go to a bunch of showcases, coaches would watch you at the showcase, you would never go to one ID camp, and you'd get recruited. Now, that's not going to happen, and it's very unlikely because it just doesn't really work out that way given the times that coaches need to see you over and over again. But that would be the perfect world. They go to a showcase, they see you, and voila, you are done. So college showcase are very much worth it. Now, what should you do in order to have a better chance at the college showcase? And I'm really excited because a bunch of you are going to make comments below saying, Zev, that's not allowed. And guess what? It's going to be awesome because I'm going to tell you to do it anyway. So, first thing you're going to do, college showcase. You're going to look up which schools are attending based off the showcase. So let's just take Surf Cup, for example. We're going to look up at Surf Cup which college coaches are attending. Now, just so you know, coaches that are not on that list will still be attending the showcase. And the coaches that are on that list are possible that they will not show up. That's how life works. They get sick, they can't make it, travel, layovers, whatever, that happens. So don't be too surprised if you hear and you're like, you know what? We don't even get to see the college coach because that is not out of the question. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to take your list that we've created. To create your list, if we haven't done that already, please create your list. And you're going to email those schools also, even if they're not on the college showcase list. Are you listening to me? Even if they are not on the college showcase list, you are still going to email them and you're going to say the exact same thing as if they were going to the showcase. You can do this for two reasons. One, they could be going to the showcase, you don't know about it, and now they have your schedule, which they really need. Number two, by saying to them, see you at the showcase, there's a very good chance, and we have a template for that called the Before I Showcase template, and it's very likely that they will respond with, I'm not going to be at that showcase. Great, now you have a genuine connection, you have a conversation with them. That's fantastic. So that's what you want to do, please. Now, you've done that piece of it, okay? You've emailed the schools. That's awesome. Now what you're going to do is you're going to create what's called a college showcase pamphlet. Okay, your team is going to create a pamphlet for you, and some of you are going to be like, my team already does that for me, college soccer guy. I don't need to do that. Wrong. You are going to create a college showcase pamphlet for a couple reasons. First of all, the pamphlet that your team is going to hand out doesn't have enough information on it unless they do what I say. Or secondly, it has the same information that every other kid has on it as well, and it just doesn't really stand out. Now, there are some rules here. So what you're going to do first, you're going to create this pamphlet. You're going to put your QR code of your highlight video on this pamphlet. And in my College Soccer Guide program, I teach you guys how to do that. But it's really easy. Just Google QR codes creation, and you can just literally put your YouTube link. It will give you an image, and you take that image and put it on the document. Now you've got a QR code. You've got your subject line that you've been using all year long. And then at the bottom, you're going to put your schedule in a really clear and concise way. Then at the bottom of that, and this is really what's going to make your pamphlet different than everything else, you're going to put quotations of what other college coaches have said to you throughout the recruiting process. Now, you cannot put, this coach has shown interest in me, because the coach is like, well, we already know that we tell kids we're interested in them and we're not even that interested in them. So this doesn't mean anything. But a quote from a college coach, that's a fact. There's no debate. That's very helpful. Or if you've had phone calls or if you've had official visits, you're going to put that at the very bottom. So it would read, like one of my students, he's very good at this, and we've been doing this we've been working with him since sophomore year. He's going into his senior year, so we've been making pamphlets all year. So at the bottom of his pamphlet, it says fantastic things like, Brandeis and I had 3 calls together. College coaches look at that and go, 3 phone calls? That's really good. Now, some of you are like, well, I don't want to tell other coaches, because what if that team gets offended that I'm telling other coaches? Guess what? Those other coaches are talking to other players. Everybody's playing the game, okay? Everybody wants to talk to other players, so this is just how the game works. Now, you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be like, Brandeis made me an offer and they didn't. Okay, that's lying. Don't do that. But you had phone calls with them. You're looking for other schools. So Brandeis are looking for other players. That's how this goes. Unless you've had a previous conversation with them where they're like, hey, you're our number 1 choice. Please don't reach out to other schools. We're not reaching out to any other players. Then fine, don't do that. But otherwise, which is not likely that's happening, you should totally do that. Now, how do you hand the pamphlet out to coaches? And this is kind of the difficult part. So I have a very cute video in my college soccer guide program where my father reenacts a college coach and I pretend to be a player. In summary, basically, if you're a parent, I've spoken to college coaches. I had recently dear friends of mine who are college coaches, and I've done it myself at these showcases. Don't hate when parents come up to you, because then they can have a little conversation with you. Which one is your kid? The coaches, remember, are interviewing you as well. If you're a psycho parent, they're not going to want your kid on their team. So if you're a lovely parent, they're like, great, there's a lovely parent. Oh, this parent can afford my school. I don't have to give them a scholarship. That's huge for them. So you're allowed to say hello to them. They're often, the coaches are on the sideline. I know one of my coaches doesn't go to the corner. He sits right next to the parents. He doesn't want to be bothered the whole time like a maniac, but he's happy to have a conversation with you. So hand him the pamphlet and say, I know you've already received the team pamphlet. This is just about my daughter. Here's her jersey number. Make sure you have your jersey number. Put the color of your team. Because when you hand the pamphlet, the two teams are black and yellow. So if the color says we're either black or blue, then I know what team you are. Otherwise, the parent says we're on this team, and then I have to remember what color you are, which is not that big of a deal, but you may as well put it. And please put your jersey number, because remember, there could be, if the jersey number is not that helpful, because there's the same jersey number on both teams. So that doesn't tell us which team you're on. So we need to know the color of your jersey. So you've put in the color of your jersey. You've put in the highlight video in case they want to scan it. I'll tell you now, most of them won't scan it, but it looks really professional. And some of them might, so you may as well do it. But the big thing is, at the bottom of that list, in addition to the quotes, you're going to put the truths that can make you look good. So for example, if you can afford college, put on there, I can afford college without a scholarship. Now, some of you will be like, well, won't that give us less chance to get a scholarship because then they know they don't need to offer us one and we kind of still want one? The answer is not really in college soccer. Scholarships come for two reasons. One, to help you afford school, and two, to send a message. Even if you can afford college, the coaches still want to give you scholarship because it sends a message to you and your family how much they want you, how much playing time you are anticipated, which can always change, to receive. So in my case, my parents could afford, most of my school, not all of it, but most of it. I still got a full scholarship. Half of it was academic, half of it was athletic, but the coach was telling my parents and telling me, look, you're going to be the captain of this team, which is why I'm giving you all this money. So that made me choose that school more. So the scholarships are not just money, it's a message. So you're not going to lose scholarship just because you'd say, I can afford your school. Now, if you say on there, I can only afford $20,000 to $30,000 a year, it's very likely the school will look at that and go, okay, this kid I'm not going to continue pursuing because they can't afford my school. Because most schools are going to cost you $30,000 to $40,000 a year most of the time. So if that's not in your budget, then you will have to consider junior college or NAIA. Now, in saying that, there's still government aid and all these other sources, but put at the bottom what can help you. So one of the things you could put is I can afford college. You put that on there. That's fantastic. Now they'll be much more likely to watch you because they're like, well, I know that kid can afford my school. The other thing you could put at the bottom of there is you go, I'm open-minded to live all over the country. If it's some school that otherwise wouldn't have recruited you, say Suffolk, which is in the East Coast, a very good D3 program, they may look at you and go, hey, this person's open to anywhere. I know they don't know who I am today because I'm a smaller D3 school compared to the others, but I'm really good. They are very good, by the way. And all of a sudden, now you're being recruited by them because they knew you're open-minded. Now, on the flip side, you should also be specific. If you're like, I prefer to live in California, but I'm open to living in other places. Well, guess what? The California schools will be like, great, this person wants to live in California. I should reach out to them. On the flip side, if you say I'm still open-minded to schools in the middle of the country, then that could work as well also. So please, 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 please specify. Now, the way to hand this is the kids, you can go up to the coach and say, Coach, we exchanged emails earlier. It's such a pleasure to meet you. You want to be very almost starstruck because it is a big deal, right? They're your dream school and that's the coach and they can make a decision on you. So you want to be like, it's so nice to meet you. I know you're very busy. Here's my pamphlet. I know my team will give you their own. I just wanted to make this specifically for you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Give it to them and leave them alone. Then if they decide they want to have a conversation with you, whoop-de-doo to them. Parent, same concept. My child's over there. They pointed out to me. We've emailed with you. We're very excited you're here. Just wanted to give you this. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Then if the coach says something like, oh, where are you guys from or how you doing? Then of course you can have a conversation. But try and be polite and get out of it quickly. Now, what are you going to email before the showcase? Okay, right? We talked already. You're going to create that list. Send it to them. Before the showcase, this is the ask I want you to send. No matter what year you are, this is what I want you to send. Coach, may I please have permission to shake your hand in person at the field? Okay, they're not allowed to recruit you if you're a freshman or sophomore below June 15th off campus. So there's like a rule there, but saying hello is not recruiting, okay? And remember, it's about a relationship. And on top of that, the NCAA, they are very good about being sticklers, but they're not monitoring soccer like they're monitoring every other sport. So if a coach says to you, hey, hope to talk to you later, the NCAA are not going to swoop down from outer space and go, we heard you say talk to you later. You're going to jail. You know, they're human beings. You're allowed to say talk to you later. It could be about anything. So if you can say hello to them, and in one of our students' cases, we set up 4 meetings with college coaches. He was a junior, so he could have meetings. But then when he was a freshman, we had set up with those same coaches a hello. And they're like, look, we can't talk to you because of rules, etc. But please stay in touch with us, and I hope to talk to you soon. Then when we email them again, we go, it was nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, they met you. You don't think that if you're here, right, they've never met you, but you've exchanged emails. You're like down here. Now they've met you and you've exchanged emails. Now you're up here. Now they want to see more video. Now you're up here. Now they're like, we want to see you on a visit. Now you're up here. And then if they're like, now we want to make you an offer, well then you are up here. So you're getting the idea of how this recruiting process works. It's about developing a relationship early on. So that is how the college showcase is most certainly worth it. If you need more help, give me a call. Links in the description bio. And I will talk to you soon.